Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you new here today, my name is Donna. And for those of you not new, thank you so much for coming back and supporting my channel. I appreciate all of you so very much. Today I thought I would do my year of empties. And this is a video that I love doing, mostly because I do empties throughout the year and I go through so much stuff. To some extent, I think maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know, but I use product every single day. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe I am doing it wrong, but I always have an incredible amount of empties. I did this last year. It went over so well. I mean, to this day, people are still watching that video and making comments on it. Last year, I went through $2,500 plus worth of product. This year, I am going to go over what I went through in my empties throughout the year, and I will put pictures in here of the items. I did take pictures of every single category, every single item, and then tossed it all into the trash can because I have had these things laying around for a year now. I do hold all my empties in like FabFitFun boxes, so there are a couple of things like my gentle foaming hand soaps from Bath & Body Works that you'll see a picture of one and then it'll have tally marks on the side of it. There are a couple items that I do that with. I just go through so many that I don't keep every single one. I just start marking on the side of one of the bottles how many I've used in excess of that one. So it'll be that one bottle and then it'll say plus and it'll have an amount of tally marks after it. We come together at the end and I talk about the price of all these items and the amount of items that I was able to empty. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, just keep watching. Okay guys, so this is my year of empties tally, and I did tally everything up as well as how many items I went through. I want to give you guys like just some information in regards to the items. I know that I did in the intro, but also throughout this as I'm looking through the pictures that I'm going to be posting up here, I want to let you know that there are sample size items in here. And this year, because this is really the first year that I had samples, I think I had some samples last year, but not very many. But throughout 2020, I started a new series on my channel called Simply Samples. And because of that series, I am barreling through some of my sample size products. So unless I could find a price for that exact size sample, then I only calculated those samples at $1 a piece. So if there were 4 samples, that category got $4 worth of product dollars towards that sample. If there was a sample size out there that I finished and it had a price tag, you could purchase it at that price for that size, then I did give it that price. With that being said, in no particular order, let's start. For foundations, I did have 4 sample sizes and 5 full sizes. So for a total of 9 items in this. The Infallible Fresh Wear was new to me this year, and it was actually one of my favorites for the year. You will see that in my favorite video that went up on the 20th, I do believe. I have the Found Sealer in here. I hate panned that because I could not stand the foundation. The Bare Minerals Bare Skin, the Serum foundation, amazing foundation. This is a really great foundation for the summertime for me. Peach Perfect and the Skin Love foundation by Becca are 2 foundations that I consistently mix together. They are cut in half, so the bottom or the top, I guess, of it squoze down onto the pumpy part. If you guys cut those open, you get probably a good month's worth of use out of what is left over in the container after the pump stops working. So do open up your containers. You would be shocked at how much product is still available. As far as the samples go, the CC cream, not amazing. I do have 2 full sizes of that. I'm not really sold on the fact that I love that foundation. The little like almost paint container is the Fenty Pro hydrating, which I did buy, ended up buying a full size of. And then we have the Ultra HD by Makeup Forever. I love that foundation. I will purchase a full size of that as soon as I run through some of my other foundations in my collection. That Tarte Amazonian Clay shocked me because I don't like Tarte complexion products, but that one was actually a really good complexion product and I really liked it. And it's not really made for dry skin, so, but it looks so pretty on the skin. But again, it was just a little sample tube, so I got probably 3 uses out of it. The next thing on here is concealers, and I did have 1 sample size of concealer and 3 full-size concealers. 2 of them are the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye. Those are so nice and emollient and beautiful on the under eye. They are kind of a wet formula though, so you can see some creasing, but because they're a wet formula, it's super easy just to tap it out and it corrects it super, super easy. It's also got a little bit of peachiness to it, so it kind of works as a under eye corrector as well. As a matter of fact, I think that's what it's called, but I used it as a concealer. The Cover Effects one, beautiful. I love that. I finished it off rather early in the year and swore that I would repurchase one. I haven't to date. That concealer did last me forever because even though it doesn't look like it here, it's a pretty big little square container. The doe foot on it, I think, was the most amazing doe foot for concealers. I think all concealers should come with this doe foot, and it was just straight with a little like ball at the end. The next category I have in here is eyeliners, and I do have 3 full-size eyeliners and 1 sample size eyeliner. The full-size eyeliners are the Physicians Formula Lash Boosting Eyeliner. I think that this is a really great eyeliner. This is the ultra black one, but I don't feel like it was as black as it could have been. I also have the Benefit Roller Lash, which I absolutely love. The other full size in this is that pencil sitting off to the side. That was a Smashbox Always On gel eyeliner, and it is in the shade Fishnet, just a basic black eyeliner, but you guys can see that it is about the same size as the cap, and it got to a point where I couldn't sharpen it anymore comfortably. The 2 sample sizes are the Stila and the Maybelline, and honestly, I was not impressed with either one of them. The next thing I have in here is lip product, and I do have 2 full-size lip products and 4 sample size lip products. These sample size lip products though came in a little collection of 30 deluxe sample size lip products for 40 bucks. So I did put the appropriate price tag on there. It's just over $1 a piece, but the Laneige Sleeping Mask, amazing. I use this all the time. I also have used it on my daughter because she gets atrociously chapped lips, and this really does help her not acquire atrociously chapped lips. The other one in there is a Benefit Bare Essentials ID Lip Rubber Upper that I have had for years in my collection. So long that this isn't for sale anymore, and I thought that it had product in it, and I opened it up one day to check the quality of it because I have had it for years, only to find that it was completely empty. So I had been carrying around this empty component for God knows how long, because I think I've had this, I might be embarrassing or shaming myself by telling you this, but I think this has been in my collection for going on 10 years. I'm happy that it's gone. The next thing I have in here is perfume, and I do have 1 full-size perfume and 1 sample-size perfume. The full-size is the Dior Poison, which was a favorite of mine for forever, and the sample size is actually Black Opium by YSL. This was the only sample perfume that I finished up this year. I love this perfume. This was such a great perfume. I will get a full size of that. It is on my wish list. It's just not something that I brought into my collection yet. And that Poison is actually in an old bottle. When I was looking it up online, it was coming up as a vintage bottle, and therefore the price point on it was outlandish. So I just put the price point on it for what the normal Poison goes for, not in the vintage bottle. Setting spray, you will see I have 6 full size and 2 samples. The two samples, one is an Indie Lee, and that one actually had a price point on it. That one you can pick up for $10, which I think is absolutely ridiculous for that little tiny sample size. And it's not an amazing setting spray. It's the COQ10 or CoQ10, something like that. The other one was just a little tiny Physicians Formula one, and I didn't like it at all. It was way too floral. You all know the story on those Kula setting sprays, and if you do not, those are the most atrocious setting sprays ever. I will never purchase those ever. I didn't purchase these ones. They came to me in subscription boxes, and I hated it. I also hate panned those. The MAC Prep and Prime I love. I will always have one of those in my collection. The Tarte Stay Spray wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great either. I don't think it did anything to help my makeup stay put. The e.l.f. makeup, what is this? Hydrating Coconut Mist was awesome. I don't think it's slated as a setting spray, so I'm not going to tell you that it didn't help my makeup application stay, because I don't think that that's really something it boasts. It smelled good. It was an awesome hydrating spray, but I don't think that it's something that I need in my collection either. And then the Milani one smelled so good. That came to me through Subscriber Buys My Makeup, and it smells so good, but it's like a really tiny bottle, and I don't think that it does anything better than my all-nighter. As a matter of fact, I don't think it even compares to my all-nighter or the MAC Prep and Prime or the new Benefit one that I've been using. So I will continue to spend some money on setting sprays. The next thing I have in here is shave cream. Obviously fell in love with EOS this year as far as shave cream goes. That pump is the first pump that I finished up in the year, and I remember in that review of that through my Empties saying now if they could just make it in a squeeze tube, that would be super, because then you could get all the product out, because those pumps were kind of a hindrance to making sure that we got all of our product out, and they did. They made it in a squeeze tube. So that first squeeze tube up top is the pomegranate one, and that one I purchased for travel. Amazing shave cream, one of my favorites, and I can pick it up at Ulta, so I get a discount on it, which is even better. Then we have brush cleaner. You guys know that I clean my brushes after every single use. I do have a few in here. That large Cinema Secrets bottle you can see says plus. It looks like 11, but that means 2. They're just tally marks. So I did go through 3 of those Cinema Secret ones. I went through 1 of the small Cinema Secret ones, and then I did go through the e.l.f. Daily Brush Cleanser as well. The Cinema Secrets one is my favorite. It's the most gentle in between uses brush cleaner that I have found. I love it. It has a nice vanilla scent to it. I just pick one up in every single Sephora, Rouge event. The e.l.f. brush cleaner, I mean, once you've used Cinema Secrets, you know what to expect from an everyday brush cleaner, and the e.l.f. one just doesn't do it. I did use 5 full-size brush cleaners. The next thing I have on here is actually makeup removers, and you guys can see I have 8 makeup removers on here. 2 of them are sample sizes. They are the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Balm, I think is what it's called, and then the chlorine little tiny guy. And then I also have the chlorine full size, 3 Clinique Take the Day Away balms, and then 2 Cetaphil gentle makeup removers. Those balms and makeup removers from Cetaphil are my favorite. I will always continue to purchase that balm and that Cetaphil makeup remover because they're my favorite. The chlorine, I really just felt like moved my eye makeup around versus cleansed it. And it was really oily and it stung my eyes, so I won't repurchase that ever. And then the IT Cosmetics balm worked okay, but it left my eyes a little bit cloudy, which I don't get from the Clinique one, so I won't be purchasing that in a full size. The next thing I have in here is lashes. I do have 6 packs of lashes. You guys can see that the pure one does say +1. So there's only a picture of 5, but there are 6 packs of lashes that I used. I love those pure ones. I think that they're amazing. The Ardell Magnetics Not even worth it. House of Lashes have great lashes. The Color Drain, great lashes. My favorites were those Baddington lashes, and those guys are $28 a piece. I got those, I think, in a BoxyCharm many moons ago, and I destroyed a pair using them as my practice lashes, where I tried to be a lash girl and it didn't quite work out. These ones were a secondary pair that I got from my mom because she also gets BoxyCharm, or got BoxyCharm at the time I did, and she would give me all the products that she didn't want. So I did end up with a second pair of those Baddington lashes, and those were so pretty. I love those lashes so much. The next thing I have in here is makeup wipes, and you guys know I have been on kind of a journey with makeup wipes. I think the first 2 months of this I was using makeup wipes the way I would normally use them. Didn't matter to me how many I was using. And then it was just about, let's not purchase any more and let's just get through what we have. So you're allowed 1 bag per month. I didn't want to use them. I'm trying to be environmentally conscious, right? So this picture, you can see that there are 16 bags. Like, that's a lot going into our landfills, and I'm really sad about that. Because in addition to these 16, I also use 10, you guys can see 10 of those little Neutrogena singles. Those came to me through my sample series, so like I use them because of that. I hate Neutrogena wipes. I will never purchase them again. They're really oily. They leave kind of a filminess on my hands that I cannot stand. I am trying not to purchase wipes, period. But if I ever do purchase wipes ever again in my life, this set of 16, I usually get in 4 packs from TJ Maxx. 30 are in each one of the 4 packs, so there's 120 wipes in there, and I get them for $4.99. The next thing I have on here is hand soaps and scrubs, so bath. I do have 3 scrubs, one of which is a sample size that I utilize throughout my sample series, and the other item in here is one of my gentle foaming hand soaps from Bath & Body Works, and you can see the tally marks there. So I used 13 of those for a total of 16 products. These are amazing body scrubs, and if you're familiar with my channel and you see the number of gentle foaming hand soaps that I went through, you guys know how I feel about gentle foaming hand soaps. I will always repurchase from Bath & Body Works as far as their soaps go. I love their hand soaps. I will always buy those. The next thing here is eye primers. I did go through 4 this year. Last year I only went through 1 total. I think that I had a lot of opens when I came into this year, a lot of open eye primers. I came into 2021 with the same thing going on. There's a lot of open eye primers. I was able to finish 4, and 3 of those are the Lorac behind the scenes eye primers that come to you with palettes from Lorac, and then the other one is the MAC Painterly, or MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. I love that paint pot. I will purchase more of that paint pot. The next thing I have here is primer, and I do have 7 primers here. So we have 2 full size, 1 mini, 2 deluxe, and 2 samples. So the sample ones that I have are the Hourglass and the Elizabeth Mott one. The Elizabeth Mott one isn't one that I loved. It's a mattifying face primer. I'm not really truly into mattifying primers. I loved the Hourglass one so much that I purchased a full size with points from Ulta. The sample size ones that I had, the deluxe sample size ones, were the Tatcha Silk Canvas, which I think is a great primer, but I also think that the e.l.f. Putty Primer does the same thing the Tatcha one does. It just doesn't have the Tatcha smell to it. It still smells good. It just doesn't have the Tatcha, you know, signature smell. And you get far more product for such a substantially less cost. This little deluxe sample size was a $22 item for such a little amount of product. The Bobbi Brown face base is in here as well. That is also a full-size product that I currently have in my collection because I fell in love with it through the sample series. Then the Tarte Quench, in my opinion, wasn't an amazing primer. The Cover FX Illuminating Primer, I absolutely loved this primer. It was a great primer. I would probably put it back into my collection at some point in time. The Too Faced Hangover RX one, not my favorite. Hate panned that. You guys can see the pan marks on it. It didn't smell good at all. I did not like this primer. It went on more like a really watery lotion, and I don't feel like it did anything to help my skin, nor my makeup application, nor the longevity of my makeup. As a matter of fact, I feel like this broke me out just a little bit. The next thing we have in here is a whole bunch of packet samples. I just thought I'd show you all the packet samples that I went through. I guess I could have put many of these into a category, but didn't. Next we have brows. I did finish 6 brow products in 2020. I had quite a few open when I started 2020, so there's that. I did like barrel through a bunch of them. The clicker stick one up at the top from Benefit, that one was open and almost entirely gone when I started 2020. So that one was the first one out of my collection. One of those, Precisely My Brows, is in shade 5. The other one is in gray. I love the gray one. The gray one is so amazing and works so well in my brows, especially since I have like multicolored hair. And then the other 3 are the NYX Micro Brow, and I really do like this brow pencil. I like it a whole lot more than I like the ABH Brow Wiz, and that's what it really is a dupe for. The next thing I have here is shadow. I have 1 shadow pencil and 1 shadow pan. The shadow pan is Ringer from ColourPop. Amazing, beautiful, like champagne-y pink tone. I would repurchase that. That was in my project pan last year. And then the other one is a JCat Beauty eye pencil in milk or marshmallow. It's just a white eye pencil. I used the poop out of this guy. I liked it a lot as an eye primer, especially for super colorful eye looks that I was going for. The next thing is blush. You guys, I only panned 1 blush, but of all the blushes I could pan, it was a full-size MAC Mineralized Skin Finish blush in Stereo Rose that had been in my collection for 3+ years, and I was so stoked to finish that blush off. That is a beautiful blush. I loved that blush. The next thing is a powder, and I also finished 1 powder, and it was the Charlotte Tilbury Airless Flawless Finishing Powder. I love that. Fell in love with powder because of this powder. I don't use powder on my skin ever. I bought this for whatever reason, had to burr up my ass to try a Charlotte Tilbury. So I bought this powder thinking, I'll try a powder. Why? I have no idea. I don't wear powder. But I used this powder every single day and loved it. The next thing I have on here is sheet masks, and I do have 9 sheet masks on here. I started adding sheet masks to my sample series. There are a couple by J. June. There's one by Glam Glow, one by Soei, one by Too Cool for School, one by Neutrogena, one by Wander. The Wander Beauty one is eye masks, and they are my favorite under eye masks. They're the 24 karat gold under eye masks that are just so good. Just so good. The Glam Glow one, not worth the money. I think that guy cost $9. I mean, really, that's all I got to say about that. Then I had 1 pack of cottons, so I'm super proud of myself for that, because that means I'm not going through nearly as many cottons as I have in the past. That's also an area that I am trying to curb. I do have some lash primers in here. So I have 2 lash primers, one from CoverGirl and one from Lash Food. I definitely like the CoverGirl one better than I like the Lash Food one. I have repurchased the CoverGirl one. As a matter of fact, I think that's the one that's in my current rotation for being used, is that one that I repurchased. I love lash primer. I think that you're only supposed to use it for 3 months at a time too, like you do have, you know, that rule with mascaras, but obviously I don't stick to that rule because there's only 2 of them in here. Then I had a lash serum. This is the Grande Lash by, well, this is the Grande Lash Serum by Grande Lash. This is a $65 serum. It's a really good serum. It works really well. It's just, I don't know how long this serum has been open in my collection, so, and when I put it on my hand, I didn't feel like there was a whole lot of wetness in that serum, and I know that it's typically a wet serum, so I am getting rid of that. And then you guys can see all the mascaras that I used here. I do have 9 full-size mascaras and 9 mini mascaras. Many of those minis do have an actual price tag on them. That Hourglass one, I don't know what is the hype on that Hourglass mascara, honestly. That Grande mascara, I hate the component of Grande products. Hate it. It pains me to even touch them. It makes my teeth hurt, if that makes any sense. The one on top there, that MAC Bold and Bad Lash, hated that mascara, not worth the money. The next one is CoverGirl Exhibitionist Uncensored. It's not all that it's cracked up to be. Then, of course, the Cosmetics Superhero, decent mascara, not my favorite though. Then the Thrive Liquid Lash Extensions mascara, amazing mascara. The only one I use on my lower lash line for sure. NARS Climax, also don't understand what the hype is around that. Tarte's mascara is a really nice mascara. I do like it. It does flake a little bit though, or transfer I should say, not flake. It doesn't flake, it does transfer. The Tarte Lifted is not my favorite. I didn't like it. It's better for those of you that really like natural lashes. The Tarte Maneater, which is the purple mini, really good. Better Than Sex, I hate Better Than Sex mascara. Benefit Roller Lash, if y'all are familiar with my sample series, you know that that burnt the hell out of my eyes, so I wanted to love it. I just didn't. The Ilia mascara, also really good for those of you that like natural lashes. I am not that girl, so I didn't like that. Buxom, I really actually quite liked that mascara. The Smashbox Full Exposure Mascara wasn't horrible, but it also didn't leave me wowed. The Benefit Bad Gal Bang, my favorite. The one next to it is a Laura Geller one. I can't remember what it's called, but it was not impressive. And then the Monsieur Big by Lancome. I love that mascara. So the next thing you guys see is hair. Putting some crazy colors into my hair really forces you to start thinking about the actual hair care that you're using and whether you want your color to last and whether you want your hair to, you know, be healthy. So I did use quite a few different hair products in this last year. You guys can see that that conditioner on the one end, it does say plus red, plus light pink, because I did go through 3 of those bottles. Total Results Keep Me Vivid. I did not like that shampoo and conditioner. As a matter of fact, I let my daughter start using it. The Tea Tree Special Shampoo I do buy for my kids. I have 2 dry shampoos in there. The Oribe one is my favorite, and that bad boy is a $48 dry shampoo. And then we have the Living Proof dry shampoo. For those of you unfamiliar with my channel, I think Living Proof products smell like pepper, so it's not my favorite one to use. It lingers, and it wouldn't be so bad if it didn't linger, because then I wouldn't have to smell like pepper all day, but it lingers. Then we have the Big Sexy Hair Powder Play Light. I love Powder Play. I liked this one because of the squirt function on it. This component has a squirty tube instead of like a shaker, and I loved that, but I didn't like that it didn't feel like it was doing much for texturizing my hair. So, and then we have the Kenra oil spray in there, which I liked. There's an Oribe Beachy Wave Spray, which was whatever. AG Glow hair oil, which was whatever. I don't like the smell of that. That Feria comes in the box dyes that I used to use, and this one was just one that was hanging out in my collection, so I decided to use it. These conditioners smell the absolute best. I love the Feria conditioners. If they made this in a buyable, you know, version for your hair, I would buy it because it smells so, so good. The Living Proof Perfect Hair Day Styler was whatever. I got it in my sample series and I used it. It just smells like pepper. The Numa Moisture Fix, I really liked this product. As a matter of fact, through my sample series, I talked about potentially buying a full size of that product. And then we have the Amika Velveteen Dream, which is a smoothing balm for your hair. Another thing that came to me in my sample series, and I really liked it. I really liked it. So I would purchase one of those for sure. Oh my gosh. We're almost done, guys. I promise. The next thing on here is contour. I do have 4 different products here. I have the KVD Sheen Light. This is the first palette that I had ever panned in my life. Other ones on top are a Bare Minerals Faux Tan. I guess that's more of a bronzer, but I put it into this contour category because I don't have a bronzer category. And then the stick is the ABH Contour Stick in Mink, and I think I talked about it in my 2020 favorites as well. The next thing I have are sponge cleaners. So these are 2 Beauty Blender Solids. I fell in love with Beauty Blender Solid this last year. It's the first time I've ever used it. They're amazing for cleaning your sponges. It makes it so easy, and there's no like leftover soap residue left in the sponge from them, so I liked those a lot. Then I have my sponges, and obviously I didn't clean these before I put them in the picture, but you guys can see I did end up ending 7 sponges throughout this year. And then a couple of tools, which I really don't have prices for. I did get these through Ipsy. One of them broke in half entirely. Other one, the brush is down inside the component because it just sunk in. I also put in my little headband. This headband's elastic broke. It was my favorite headband for the longest time. And then I thought I'd share my skincare with you. This is the biggest impact to my empties. There are 30 skincare products in here, and I'm so excited that I went through this much skincare. You guys, there are 14 full-size items in here and 16 sample-size items in here. The sample-size items are really decent-sized samples, though, and some of them did have a cost. With that said, I would not repurchase the Tatcha sample that's up there on top of the Coco Cabana cream. I would not repurchase the Juice Beauty items. I would not repurchase the Kate Somerville Eradicate that's sitting right next there to that Juice Beauty serum because it killed my face. I think that's about it that I would not repurchase. I definitely love the little Glam Glow samples that I got. I fell in love with the Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream. That's why there's 2 of them there. I fell in love with the Sunday Riley CEO. I do have a backup of that. I ended up buying a full size as well. I fell in love with that Dermalogica Biolumin C serum. Oh my god. I saw such an incredible difference in my skin by using that. So yeah, those are the ones that I truly fell in love with. And then I just had one other item, and that was a hair oil by Bumble & Bumble, the Invisible Hairdresser's Oil, which I used up entirely. And I kind of like using hair oils. I didn't think I would. I thought it would leave my hair feeling greasy, but I loved it. For 2020, my whole year, I emptied 215 beauty items, you guys, for a grand total of $2,908. Oh my god. So that is about $120 more than last year, and about 50 extra items. And many of those 50 extra items were sample size items, let's be honest. In 2019, I didn't have very many sample size items. I'm so proud of those empties. Wow, you guys, $2,900 worth of product. You'll have to tell me what your thoughts are on that and how you feel about that number. I think that I went through 215 products, and that makes me so happy that I went through 215 products and so many samples I'm getting out of my collection, which I don't know about you, but I had to instill a sample series on my channel because I just don't pull for samples ever, and I have so many. I hope that you guys liked this video, and I hope that if you did, you're considering giving it a big thumbs up. It really does help our channels out here. I hope that you liked it or me enough that you'll consider subscribing before you go. And please don't forget to hit the notification bell if you do that. I do upload content 3 to 4 times a week, and I would hate for you to miss anything. I hope that 2021 is treating you kindly, and that you and yours are well, but I also hope that you are still out there keeping yourself safe, making sure that you're wearing your mask, staying 6 feet apart, doing what you can to keep yourself safe for no other reason. I hope that you all are loving each other, but loving each other from afar. And until next time, bye everyone.